Our topic this week is Reincarnation, the Spiral Staircase. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that in a former life, at the time of Earth's earliest beginnings, he says, I gave this imperishable yoga to Vivaswat, the sun god. Vivaswat passed it on to Manu, the lawgiver. With the long passage of time, however, this knowledge of yoga has become greatly diminished. Swami Kriyananda adds to this. He said, Mahavatar Babaji said that he himself was Krishna in a former incarnation. My guru told me that Lahiri Mahashaya was King Janaka. Yogananda said that he himself was Arjuna. I've come to feel, after years of editing Yogananda's writings, that our entire line of gurus have come back again and again for countless eons, and perhaps even from the beginning of human history, as saviors of mankind. No doubt there are other lines of great masters also who, in their compassion for humanity, have returned again and again to this planet. Krishna later says to Arjuna, many have been my births, and many also yours. I remember all of mine, though you remember yours not. Why doesn't Arjuna remember his past lives? Maybe a better question might be, why would he want to know all of those past lives? Swamiji said that we've all been thieves, murderers, done all sorts of evil things in our past lives. That would be an impossible burden to hold in our memory in this life. Sri Yukteswar said, the past lives of all men are dark with many shames. Everything in the future will improve if you make the right spiritual effort now. Our future lies in our own hands, in the present. And righting past wrongs lies in our own, lies also in the present, in our own hands, in the here and now. What do we do now? And our karma presents us with perfect opportunities to heal the past and to better the future. And the key is acceptance. There was a woman who came to the famous psychic Edgar Cayce once, and she had beautiful hands, and he saw that in her last life, these hands, she loved her seva. She was a nun in a convent, and she joyfully served God all the time by scrubbing the floors of the convent with those hands. And this was the result of that joyful service. Swamiji told us once in Howrah Station how he saw a woman who was begging. And it's like she just seemed totally out of place. Somehow she carried with her a dignity, a noble bearing, and maybe she was wealthy in her last life, but she was totally selfish. She was cruel to the people around her. our ultimate goal, of course, is to get out of this cycle of birth and death. But once we become attached to the body, the mind gets tricked into thinking, I can make all of this work out. You know, we have minor successes. You know, maybe we have a happy marriage. Maybe things go well at work. But the world is one of duality, as we know. Up and down, pleasure and pain. Ananda Ma said that pleasure is the interval between two pains, and that pain is the interval between two pleasures. One inevitably follows after the other. Guruji said, to get off the wheel of reincarnation, you have to desire freedom very intensely. Then only will God release you. Your longing has to be fervent. If you are determined no more to want to play, the Lord has to release you. Why shouldn't He, once He sees that you really want Him alone and not His show, that you want only freedom in Him? And until we attain that final freedom, is there something we can do to speed the progress up and do more in this life so that we don't leave it with unfulfilled desires when we leave the body? There's many lessons from those who have had near-death experiences that they've come back to share with us. And likewise, messages from those who have passed on, for all of us still living. And the tone of those messages, almost all of them, seems to be very supportive and reassuring, loving. And here's some sample messages that these souls have shared. When I was alive, I never told you enough times how much I loved you. I understand you much better now. I want only your happiness. Forgive me for my wrongs. I forgive you and wish you well. Don't hold me back by clinging or grieving for me. Everything good that I may have given you, now you must give that to others. Serve others, do good, expand your love and sympathy to all. I will always be with you in spirit. So touching. And in closing, in the astral ascension ceremony that Swamiji wrote, he gives this message for those who are now leaving the body, so that they can depart this earth in freedom. And he says to them, bless all who ever harmed you. Give them your love and your prayer for their freedom in God. Cast from your heart all outward attachments. Realize that earthly goals, however shining, are but dreams. God is the only reality. Burn your earthly fires in the fire of wisdom, earthly desires. Burn earthly limitations in the blaze of spreading peace. Burn earthly joys in the bonfire of divine bliss. See your past actions as scenes in a vast unfolding tapestry. Feast not your gaze wistfully on episodes already finished, but look ahead. New adventures await you, fresh, joyous victories as you advance toward perfect freedom. And may that be how we all feel when we leave these bodies. Thank you.
Swami Kriyananda came up with the title, The Spiral Staircase, from Yogananda's poem, God, God, God. And the first lines of that poem are, "From the depths of slumber, as I ascend the spiral stairway of wakefulness, I will whisper, God, God, God." So that's for us to remember, God, 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 through every lifetime, through every situation. Yogananda said he wasn't interested in any of his past lives. He said, I killed Yogananda years ago, long ago, not even years ago, long ago, probably many incarnations ago. He said, I'm not interested in past Yoganandas. I'm interested in God who dwells in me. He who loves God cannot love himself anymore. And Yogananda's foremost woman disciple, Sister Gyanamata, said, things that happen to us do not matter, but what matters is what we become through them. I don't know who I was before or who I am to become, but in this life, I am Gyanamata. And in another place she says, I don't need to know about my past lives. All I need to do is look in the mirror. Because everything I've learned from the past, all my past lives, have made me who I am now and brought to me this incarnation with these lessons and these opportunities and these chances for growth in this life. So why do I care about the past lives? Let's not miss the point. Let's not get distracted from what happened before. Because looking into our past or looking into our subconscious and looking into the problems, like where did this problem come from? It's just like continuing to get enmeshed in the conscious mind, and we can't find our solutions there. We find our solutions in the superconscious mind. When we elevate our consciousness, our awareness, our understanding to a higher level, then suddenly, where are the problems? We have lifted ourselves above the problems, and there's really no question anymore. We accept this situation in front of me. I have drawn for my growth. I have drawn to learn my lessons. And I don't have to say, why did it come? Why did it come? We don't need to know why it came. It came, so it's for me. What's ours will come to us. And therefore, we need to put out the energy and overcome the challenges, the obstacles that come to us. That is what our karma is. That is why we are born. Master said it's about 8 million lifetimes between being a germ and becoming a human. We go from minerals and rocks to plants to animals. And finally, when we're born a human, we have the nervous system with the potential to awaken in God, with the potential of expanding our awareness into God's infinite awareness, into His consciousness. And are we living up to that potential? Are we putting out the effort to even try to live up to that potential? That's what we should ask ourselves. Yoganandaji says, God is dreaming through us. When your consciousness becomes elevated to be in tune with God's consciousness, then you will be able to realize that life is but a dream. You know, when we have dreams at night, or when we have nightmares, we wake up in the morning from the nightmare, I'm so glad it was just a dream. It was just a dream. And we are now living God's dream. So Master said, God gave us dreams to help us understand how He's producing this Leela, how He's producing this motion picture show. Because He says, the changes of life and death are nothing but a series of motion pictures. No matter what your circumstances may be, always remember that you are only playing a part. You must realize that you are a divine traveler and are only here for a little while. So through all this series of incarnations, we are just playing a part, a role. And the role in this life might be happy. The role in the last life might be very sad. The next one might be tragic. The next one might be comic. But we are just an actor, and we cannot identify with the role, or again, we miss the point. I was thinking that the chants we did today, Mother, awake me from my dreams. Mother, awake me in thy light, hand in hand. We're dancing through this Leela together, dancing together in thy light. You know, we are dancing in the light, and we are just souls, images of God, here to just expand our awareness. That's why we're born. And how do we do that? Yogananda said, get off the wheel of incarnation. The easiest way is through meditation. You're in the right place for that. You're in the right place for that. So meditation, why? Because meditation helps us to stop this busy time that we're just enmeshed in Maya, and helps us to get to that stillness. In Kriya, in Pranayama, we're experiencing the flow of prana within us. And when we experience that prana flowing through us, it's like, I am that prana. I am made of prana. This whole creation is made of prana, and I am one with that. That's who I am. I am prana. And when we practice the Om technique, and we practice listening to Om or tuning into Om, even if we don't know the Om technique, we know that the creation is made from Om, from the Om vibration that the Lord gave us for this creation. So when we listen for Om, when we tune into vibration, we realize that's what I am. I am vibration. I am vibration eternally. I am this role for such a short while. I'm the traveler just for a little while. And when we practice Hong Sa, what are we doing? We're trying to get to that stillness at the center of each breath, the stillness at the center of duality, at the center of all of creation, that stillness. And if I can just experience that stillness, I can move beyond all of the motion of Maya and reach God even beyond creation. So this is why the masters say, identify with something much, much bigger. The disciples of Yoganandaji, when they would go to the movie theater, they would all be caught up in the story in the movie, and they'd say, Master, are you watching the movie? He'd say, oh yes, I'm watching the big movie. And and I'm listening to Divine Mother, I'm listening to Om. And so that's why the masters tell us, I know you guys get tired of hearing, we need to give up our desires, we need to give up our attachments. But why? Why? The masters are trying to free us. If we can expand our awareness into who we really are, into that infinite vibration, into the vibration of Om, into the stillness, into just energy and prana, just expand it, then we get off the wheel. More and more, we have that experience. This is who I really am, not this role, this gender, this nationality, this political party. I'm none of that. That is so temporary. I'm not even this body. Even I'm not this illness. I'm not this cold. Nothing. I am infinite light. And the more we can remember that, the faster we get off this wheel. And the other chant was listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget thee. I will never forsake thee. We're singing to God. We're singing to our soul. Like, let's not forget our poor little soul. That's why we want to give up our attachments and our desires. And so Yogananda also said the spiritual path at the beginning, it seems so difficult. Everybody keeps talking about giving up your desires and your attachments. It seems so difficult. But the more we identify with our true reality, the more effortlessly liberating it becomes, Master said. Effortlessly liberating. And he says, once we start to wake up, do not go back to sleep again. He said, nightmare is over. Sleep is over. Dream is over. Awake in a cosmic dream. So I'm so, so grateful that we have a spiritual family. We have these incredible gurus, our teacher Swami Kriyananda, and this incredible spiritual family to help remind us again and again what it is we are doing here. And that, in such a short amount of time, we'll be able to hop off this wheel and just share our infinite eternal light with all souls everywhere, like the great ones. God bless you.